So the next time you like tap your phone to order a $20 pad thai, um, about $7 of that might just vanish into the cloud before the ticket even prints in the kitchen.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, it is this massive, mostly invisible tech rebellion happening right now.
Right. And today we're looking at exactly how local restaurants are launching that rebellion to
Right.
take their money back. Because, I mean, I think people still hold on to this very tactile, almost romanticized vision of the restaurant business.
Oh, absolutely. You picture the perfect ambient lighting or the clinking of wine glasses.
Yeah, the smell of garlic hitting a hot pan.
Oh,
But when you look at the projections for 2025,
yeah.
that physical dining room starts to look like just the tip of a massive digital iceberg.
It really does. The physical space is just a small piece now.
Exactly. I mean, the online food delivery market is projected to reach $1.40 trillion globally in 2025. Trillion, with a T.
Which is just a staggering number. And it means digital ordering is no longer like a side hustle to supplement the weekend dinner rush. For a lot of these establishments, the digital ecosystem is the main event.
And that is exactly what we are unpacking today. Welcome to the deep dive, everyone. We are digging into a comprehensive 2025 strategy guide on something called white label online ordering platforms.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful, but it's so important.
It is. Whether you are an aspiring restaurateur or a tech enthusiast, or honestly just someone who orders a little too much Friday night takeout, we're going to explore how local spots are actively fighting back against tech monopoly.
To reclaim their profits, their brand, and most importantly, their customer data.
Okay, so let's unpack this, because before we get to the solution, we kind of have to look at the invisible tax happening on almost every digital food order today.
Right. To really grasp the significance of these new white label platforms, you have to understand the sheer gravity of the current dominant model.
The third-party apps.
Exactly. The industry calls them marketplace platforms. So your DoorDashes, your Uber Eats, Foodpanda, they basically operate as these massive digital food courts.
I mean, using one of those third-party apps sounds a lot like renting a billboard, where the billboard company takes, like, a third of your revenue.
Yeah, a massive cut.
And then on top of that, they completely refuse to tell you who actually looked at the ad.
That is the exact friction point because, the appeal of a marketplace app is undeniable at first glance.
Sure, they have a massive captive audience built right in.
Right. A restaurant doesn't have to write a single line of code. They just upload a menu, and instantly they are visible to thousands of hungry locals. But that visibility comes with a really suffocating toll. We're talking 20 to 35% commission fees per order.
I do want to challenge this narrative just a bit, though, because, 35% is absolutely brutal in an industry famous for razor-thin margins.
Oh, yeah. It's punishing.
But is there a scenario where swallowing that 35% pill is actually a smart business move? Like, it can't be universally terrible if literally everyone uses them.
Well, it functions as a customer acquisition cost. So for a brand new restaurant that nobody has ever heard of,
Right, they need the exposure.
exactly. Or a small spot that just has zero capital to invest in upfront technology. Sacrificing a third of the margin is really the only way to get the food out the door.
Because if you are entirely unknown, capturing 65% of a sale is fundamentally better than capturing 100% of nothing.
Precisely. It's a loss leader to get people to taste the food.
Yeah.
But the danger is getting trapped there.
Right.
Because it isn't just the money they take, it's the data wall they build.
Oh, this is the part that blew my mind. If I order from a local spot on a delivery app, that restaurant doesn't get my email address.
Nope.
They don't get my phone number. They don't even really get my ordering habits.
You belong to the app, not the restaurant. And that lack of data completely paralyzes a restaurant's ability to operate a modern business.
Let's make that concrete for a second, because if a restaurant actually owns their data, they can see that, right, and if they have that data, they can set up an automated push notification at, like, 5.3 on a Tuesday, offering a free side of sweet potato fries to guarantee the sale.
Which is brilliant marketing.
But a third-party delivery app literally builds a firewall to prevent that exact interaction from happening, because they want the customer loyal to the app's interface, not the specific burger joint.
And that is the turning point for a growing business. Once a restaurant realizes they're essentially paying a recurring ransom just to access their own regular customers, they start looking for an exit strategy.
And that is where the shift to white label platforms happens.
Exactly.
So when we say white label in this context, we're basically talking about the software equivalent of generic prescription drugs, right?
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Like the tech company builds the core molecular structure, the routing, the payment processing, the user interface. But the local pizzeria gets to slap their own branding on the digital bottle. Am I looking at that right?
That is a perfect way to conceptualize it. Companies like Enatega, Flipdish, or UpMenu, they engineer all the complex back-end architecture.
But to the end user, the customer.
Right. To the customer, the interface just looks like a bespoke, custom-built app for their favorite local taco spot.
And economics completely flip, don't they?
Oh, entirely. Instead of hemorrhaging 30% per order, the restaurant is usually looking at a flat monthly subscription fee or maybe a one-time setup cost.
So they take on a fixed operational expense rather than a penalty that scales with their success, which just makes so much more sense.
Plus, they shatter that data firewall. They own the transaction from end to end.
You know, if you've ever noticed your favorite neighborhood spot practically begging you on their Instagram stories or slipping a brightly colored flyer into your takeout bag, asking you to please order directly from their website.
Yeah, everyone's seen those flyers.
This margin difference is the entire reason why. They're actively trying to transition you from a rented user to an owned customer.
Which is a brilliant survival tactic. But, the execution is where it gets incredibly complicated. Because deciding to ditch the marketplace is easy. Actually implementing the technology is another story entirely.
Right, and that transition is where the real stress test begins. So a restaurant decides to go independent. But jumping into the software world is daunting. How do they actually choose a platform from this absolute sea of options?
It is overwhelming.
I mean, I noticed the source material lists a dizzying array of platforms. It's like staring at a Cheesecake Factory menu of tech options. We're talking Cloud Waitress, Bento Box, Tock, Menufy, Toast.
Yeah, it's a lot.
How does a business owner who specializes in, like, sourdough suddenly categorize and evaluate enterprise software?
Well, the primary filters are transaction volume and operational depth. Basically, how deeply do you need the software to integrate into the physical reality of your kitchen?
Okay, let's start at the shallow end, the entry-level tier. I noticed some platforms offer seemingly free entry points, which immediately makes me skeptical. Like, how does a company like Cloud Waitress offer a $0 starter plan? What's the catch?
It relies on a classic freemium SaaS model. So Cloud Waitress will handle your digital ordering infrastructure completely free, but the hard cap is 100 orders a month.
Okay, so the moment you hit order 101.
This system forces an upgrade to a paid tier, which hovers around $39 a month.
Got it. And Glory Food offers a free sister too, but with limited customization and transaction fees tacked on.
Right, there's always a trade-off.
And then you have the website builders like Wix or Weebly offering e-commerce tools for as low as $17 a month.
Which sounds great on paper.
Right, but I have to push back on the viability of this for a real restaurant. If I am using a $17 website builder to take orders, isn't that essentially just a glorified digital contact form?
Pretty much, yeah.
Like, how does a lightweight system like that handle the sheer chaos of a Friday night dinner rush? That sounds like a recipe for a catastrophic bottleneck.
You are identifying the exact danger of the entry-level tier. A lightweight web builder does not understand kitchen capacity.
Right.
So if 50 people submit an order on a basic Wix site at 6:30 p.m., the system happily accepts all 50 payments.
Oh, no.
And it tells every single customer their food will be ready in 20 minutes.
Meanwhile, the kitchen staff is quite literally going up in flames.
Exactly. The lightweight systems lack API throttling and real-time capacity management. And that is why high-volume restaurants graduate to what the industry calls POS integrated systems.
POS being the point of sale.
Right.
So when you step up to a heavy-duty POS system platforms like Toast POS, Square, or Lightspeed, you are no longer just ringing up sales or collecting web forms. You are essentially installing a central nervous system for the entire restaurant.
It bridges the physical hardware with the cloud analytics, because to appreciate the difference, you really have to look at the nightmare of the standalone tablet.
I'll fiend this. When a restaurant uses non-integrated third-party apps, they often end up with a row of like 5 different tablets on the host stand.
Yes, all pinging aggressively.
It's like having a translator in the kitchen who only speaks French, yelling over a chef who only speaks Italian.
That's a great analogy.
A digital order comes into the DoorDash tablet, and a human being has to physically read that screen, turn around, and manually punch the exact same order into the restaurant's cash register so the kitchen actually gets the ticket.
And the room for human error there is just massive. A POS integrated white label system acts as a universal neural link.
Meaning everything talks to everything else.
Right. A customer hits order on the restaurant's custom app, the data packet hits the cloud, and the system simultaneously updates the accounting software, deducts the specific ingredients from the digital inventory ledger, and routes the ticket directly to the appropriate kitchen display screen.
So the flyer station gets a fry order, the grill station gets the burger order.
Exactly.
All instantly, with zero human translation required. And the guide highlights a specific case study that perfectly illustrates this. A local spot called Oscars.
Yeah, Oscars is a textbook example.
Because they were suffering from declining customer retention,
Yeah.
right? And massive wait times because of those manual processes.
Right. And what's fascinating here is how Oscars used data architecture to solve what was essentially a hospitality crisis. They deployed Toast POS's growth package, which is a fully integrated ecosystem.
Because they fixed the data flow, they eliminated the manual data entry at the front counter that instantly shaved minutes off the ticket times.
Which cooled off the kitchen chaos.
But the brilliance is what they did with the data they were finally capturing.
Yeah, they finally had visibility into their customer base. So they layered an automated loyalty program on top of the POS system.
Right.
And they launched highly targeted email campaigns based on actual purchase history.
And the result was incredible. They generated a $10,000 spike in sales in a single 30-day window.
Driven entirely by repeat visits.
They didn't just buy an app. They weaponized their own customer data.
Yeah. But, Oscars is still just a single physical location. The true stress test for white label architecture is what happens when you introduce scale and multi-tenant complexity.
Okay, right. Because if I am running a massive operation, let's say a regional delivery network, moving millions of dollars of food, my first instinct wouldn't be to rent a white label platform.
You'd want to build it.
Yeah, I would want to hire a dedicated development team and build my own proprietary app from scratch. I'd want to own the source code outright. Why pay a vendor if you have the capital to build the infrastructure yourself?
Well, you think you want the source code until Amazon Web Services updates their security protocols at 3 in the morning on a Sunday.
Oh, wow.
Or Apple releases a new iOS version that suddenly breaks your entire payment gateway.
Ah, so it's the technical debt.
Exactly.
You stop being a food logistics company and accidentally become an IT maintenance firm.
Because software is a living organism. The initial development cost is really just the down payment. The true cost of a custom build is the ongoing salary of the engineering team required to manage server loads, patch security vulnerabilities, and push constant updates.
And white label enterprise platforms absorb that entire maintenance burden.
Precisely, they bridge the gap.
That makes perfect sense. And the source outlines a fascinating case study on this exact dilemma with a company called Easy Eats.
Yeah, a great example.
Because they aren't a traditional restaurant. They operate a campus food delivery network across multiple colleges.
Which means their technical requirements are exponentially more complex than a single burger joint.
Here's where it gets really interesting. They are basically building a regional Uber Eats clone. They have to partner with dozens of different local restaurants, ingest all of those distinct menus, and present them in a single, unified marketplace app for the college students.
It is a three-sided digital marketplace, so you need the consumer-facing app for the students to browse and pay. You need a vendor portal for the 50 different restaurants to accept the orders.
Okay.
And you need a dedicated logistics app for the fleet of drivers to route the deliveries via real-time GPS.
Developing that three-sided ecosystem from scratch would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars and take, like, a year to deploy.
Easily.
Instead, Easy Eats leveraged a white label solution from Enatega, which the guide notes starts at roughly $1,997.
Right, because Enatega specializes in multi-vendor architecture. Their API layers handle the complex payment splitting.
Ensuring everyone gets paid.
Exactly. Ensuring the restaurant gets their cut, the driver gets their fee, and Easy Eats keeps their commission all happening instantaneously in the background under one consistent branded app.
Buying a fully synchronized multi-vendor logistics network, a literal business in a box for under $2,000, is wild. It completely democratizes the technology that used to be exclusive to Silicon Valley giants.
And because these independent operators now control their own flexible digital infrastructure, they are actively plugging into some incredibly advanced innovations.
Which brings us to the really fun part, the wild future of food delivery. Looking at 2025 and beyond.
Yeah, things get very futuristic here.
Right. But I know we should ground it in practicality first.
Well, yeah. The baseline automation is about error reduction. Online ordering eliminates fake phone orders, which is a massive headache for restaurants.
Oh, my bet.
And it automates the flow, meaning staff aren't stuck on the phone and customers get real-time tracking, waiting, cooking, wrapping, shipping.
But then we move way beyond just tracking a burrito. The source mentions paying for that burrito with cryptocurrency.
Which is becoming more common.
But the logistical shifts are what really grab my attention. We are talking about drone delivery networks dropping food from the sky and autonomous robots delivering orders within a 10-mile radius.
The physical execution of delivery is being entirely decoupled from human labor.
But let's break down the mechanics of that. Because how does an independent taco shop actually deploy a drone? They obviously don't have a private aerospace division out back.
No, they don't. But this brings us right back to the power of open API architecture within white label platforms.
Okay.
If you are trapped inside the DoorDash ecosystem, you have to use their drivers. It is a closed loop. But if you own your own white label system, the software allows you to plug into third-party logistics providers.
Ah, the 3PLs.
Exactly.
Say the local restaurant's app can ping a completely separate drone logistics network, hand off the GPS coordinates and the payload weight, and automate the physical dispatch.
Yep.
All without the customer ever knowing multiple software systems are talking to each other.
The restaurant maintains the brand relationship while outsourcing the futuristic logistics.
It is brilliant. But out of all the upcoming trends, the one that I found psychologically fascinating was the integration with Apple TV.
Oh, yeah. That represents the ultimate endgame of digital ordering.
According to the source, a customer can pull up a restaurant's app directly on their smart TV. You don't have to pause the movie. You don't even have to look down at your phone.
No phone required at all.
You just navigate the menu using your television remote, check past orders, access your stored payment info, and the food shows up.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the goal of all these trends, whether it's voice ordering, TV ordering, robots, is the absolute eradication of friction.
Like how Amazon trained us all to expect one-click purchasing.
Right. And now the food industry is trying to achieve that same zero hesitation impulse buy. Friction is anything that introduces time for second guessing.
A complicated checkout process is friction.
Having to get off the couch to find your phone is friction.
Yeah.
By embedding the ordering process into the television screen, they are intercepting the consumer exactly when their guard is down and they are most susceptible to craving.
They are collapsing the distance between the moment you feel hungry and the moment you eat. And again, a local restaurant can only participate in that level of psychological marketing if they actually control their own white label platform. You can't just put a DoorDash button on an Apple TV remote.
Exactly. The through line here is autonomy. The technology is just the vehicle for reclaiming control over the customer relationship.
So what does this all mean? Synthesizing all of this, it is clear the restaurant industry is no longer just about making good food.
No, that's just the baseline requirement now.
Right. To actually survive, these local spots are being forced to evolve into sophisticated data management and logistics companies. By utilizing platforms like UpMenu, FlipDish, or Bento Box, they're mounting a highly effective insurgency against the marketplace monopolies.
And it is vital to recognize your role in this ecosystem as a listener and a consumer.
Absolutely.
Because the simple act of downloading a local restaurant's custom app, rather than defaulting to a massive third-party aggregator, directly shifts capital in this $1.4 trillion market.
You are actively funding their direct-to-consumer data ownership.
And ensuring that the revenue stays within the local economy.
It is a massive, invisible economy functioning right beneath our fingertips. But looking at the trajectory of this frictionless, drone-delivered, TV-integrated future leaves me with one final, slightly unsettling thought for everyone to chew on.
Let's hear it.
If a restaurant truly masters its digital infrastructure, if they can automate the delivery with drones, track our exact behavioral habits with AI, and make it dangerously easy to order a gourmet meal without ever breaking eye contact with our couches, what happens to the physical dining room?
That is the big question.
Could the traditional dining room eventually become financially obsolete? You just have to wonder if, a decade from now, a beautifully designed physical restaurant will just be a high-end showroom.
Just a marketing expense.
Exactly. A showroom designed solely to drive you back to the highly profitable digital app.
It fundamentally flips the entire business model on its head.
A fascinating concept to mull over the next time you actually sit down to dine in. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Keep questioning the everyday experiences around you, and keep exploring the hidden systems shaping our daily lives. We will catch you next time.